Let's look at some different papers, different surfaces, and how your pencils and pens react to them. So this is a Strathmore Bristol pad. It says that it's 400 series, 9x12, 15 sheets, 2-ply, which is good for when you're inking, because the ink will not spatter and run. So let's try some different pencils and pens on here. So here's a non-photo blue pencil. Let's see how it does. Nice and smooth. I like smooth papers. Yeah, this is a really nice paper. Your pencils will glide on this paper. When you're doing comic books, this is the kind of paper you want to use for comics. Strathmore 2-ply Bristol. And let's see, another blue pencil. Here's that Collie Race light blue. This one's really good too. Not too much drag on the paper. So Collie Race light blue works really good. Here's a different Collie Race. This is the regular blue. That shows up nice. So that's a good one too. Let's try regular pencil. Here is a 3H pencil, Faber-Castell. This is mostly used for drafting. Not too many cartoonists actually draw with a 3H because it's really hard lead. But being hard lead means also that it usually doesn't smear the way soft lead does. So if you're looking for that type of thing, you might go for a hard pencil. The problem is that if you press down too hard on it, you're gouging the paper. Now here's an H pencil. As you can see, it's a little bit darker than the 3H. But again, it doesn't really smear a lot if you happen to rub your hand on it. So here is an HB. This is a little bit softer than an H. It'll smear a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Now this is a 2B. And if you rub this, you do get some smearing. How do they erase on this page? So here's the Barrel Prismacolor. That does pretty good. The Col Erase, I know that'll erase nicely, and so will this one. The H, yeah. The HB, that was the 3H, this is the H. And this is the HB. And this is the 2B. And they all erase pretty cleanly on this Bristol paper. Let's try a couple of pens that I have here. And I learned about this pen from my friend Tom. And this is a sailor pen from Japan. And it's got a nib on it, as you see, at an angle. And it comes in 2 different angles from what I understand. So drawing with this on this paper for me is really nice. I like pens that glide on smooth paper. You hold it back here, you get the flat of the nib right on there. And you fill in like that. And then if you want, you can turn it so that you're drawing this way with it, and you get a fine line like this. If you do this way, and you have just the right touch, you get a thicker line. And then if you kind of press down a little bit, you get a really fat line. So that's the Sailor pen. This pen, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's a Japanese brush pen. There, you see the brush there. These pens are good for shading and stuff like that, as well as for just drawing. And it's a nice brush tip. This is really cool. Usually people draw with a pen like this when they're inking their comics. So that's a good one. And then this one is a Pentel. And there you see the brush tip there. Slightly different feel than the other one. but you can get a variety of lines depending on how you press down on it. And if you want a fine line, just hold it up a little bit from the page and you can get lines of varying widths. Do your cross hatching like I used to do a lot of when I was making my own superhero drawings years and years ago. And if you want to ink your drawing, you can go right over it like this. This takes a lot of practice, depending on what kind of look you're going for. Inking is an art unto itself that requires concentration, depending on which drawings you're inking, which artist you're inking. So there's a bunch of different pens, pencils on this Bristol board, and the next one we'll do, the next video, we'll try some other papers with these pens and pencils. So until next time, keep drawing.